The Philadelphia Eagles are back at the NovaCare complex, beginning the first phase of their off-season workout program. And while it's early days, this does mean that the first steps of their 2018 title defense have been taken. With that in mind, I wanted to take one last look at the season that was before we turn our eyes forward once and for all. So in this video is a list of my personal top 10 plays from the Eagles 2017 Super Bowl winning season. Now this would have been easy to do top 10 Carson Wentz plays or top 10 shocking plays, but that would be discrediting the incredible defensive work or the shocking special team standouts. So these are the plays that in my eyes got you out of your seat, got the fans screaming at the top of their lungs, and in my opinion shaped the season that went down in history as one of the most remarkable of all time. So let's start with number 10, and this one comes straight from the NFC Championship game in a play that showed the true creativity of this team. It is the flea flicker from Clement to Foles to Torrey Smith down the sidelines. This was the play that put the dagger in the hearts of the Minnesota Vikings, and that is the exact reason it comes in at number 10 on this list. The Eagles were up 24-7. It was a dominant first half, some fantastic first quarter plays and a great show of defense, but how do you put the dagger in the heart? You sling a flea flicker to a receiver who has struggled all season long and in his own words had the toughest stretch of his career. He then hauls in a huge home run hit on a flea flicker, brings it into the end zone and gives the Eagles a commanding lead and gives the Vikings very little room to work with. At number 9 on this list is a play from that very same game but a little earlier on and on the other side of the football. It is of course Patrick Robinson's pick 6. The Vikings are up 7-0. The Eagles couldn't score to begin the game, but Robinson directs traffic. He's patient after the interception, goes sideline to sideline and initiates a Ronald Darby block which can only be described as all in, and Robinson drives into the end zone to tie the game up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if that did not silence, well, what minimal Vikings fans were there in comparison to the raucous Eagles crowd, then I don't know what did. This was a fantastic play from arguably the Eagles' biggest defensive standout of the season, and he made it count. Chris Long with a great pass rush as well to hurry the throw of Case Keenum and really just jog that arm a little bit. We can see it there, knocking that ball loose. It was a complete play by the Eagles defense, and it was topped off with a brilliant sense of vision and patience from one of the best defenders on the team of 2017. Number 8 on this list, and it's from the first game of the season, and you'll soon see why. Carson Wentz does Carson Wentz things on 3rd and 12, dancing around the pocket, evading trouble, and somehow staying on his feet to deliver an absolute dart to who else but Nelson Agholor, the man who everyone was rooting for to rebound after a real struggle in 2017. He made his intentions very clear with a score on the first drive of the game. The Eagles were out in full form, but it all starts with Carson Wentz. This was the first play of the season. We thought, wow, this team is special. Some wizardry from the quarterback who refused to go down, who shakes off a sack and then somehow transfers all his body weight over on one foot, and Agholor with the snagalore brings it in for 6. Coming in at number 7 is our first trip back to Super Bowl 52. The Eagles with the lead in the second quarter, the Patriots driving down the field. That was until a dominant hit by Malcolm Jenkins certainly jaggers the tone just a little. This was channeling his inner Brian Dawkins, showing shades of the Eagles defense of yesteryears, and that is exactly why this play is included in the top 10. If the Birds were going to win the Super Bowl, they had to stake their claims early on. They had to make their intentions made very clear and prove they're not going to be taken lightly. Malcolm Jenkins delivers a dominant hit onto Brandon Cooks that jaggers the tone of the game and makes sure that the Patriots do not underestimate the sheer power of this Eagles defense. In at number 6, I'm sure you've all seen the film Sleepless in Seattle, and well, the 12s were certainly sleepless after this show of absolute wizardry from Carson Wentz, escaping to the sidelines. I don't know how to this day he 1 got that ball off, 2 didn't underthrow it, and 3 somehow got it over a defender and into the palms of once again the breakout star of USC, Nelson Agholor. This showed just how dangerous Carson Wentz is. This is a play that very few quarterbacks can make. He's being brought down to the turf, gets it over the shoulders of who else but Byron Maxwell, and finds Nelson Agholor. This was absolutely sensational from both Wentz and Agholor. But if we're talking about wizardry, then our first entry into the top 5 should come as no surprise. Again against the Washington Redskins on their Monday night outing this time around, Carson Wentz somehow transforms into Houdini and escapes a pile what looked to be a certain sack. He pops out like it's a game of Madden, runs for a first down and dives for the extra yards. There is still no way anybody understands how Carson Wentz came out of that scrap, let alone was able to drive down the field. Of course it was man coverage which spread the defenders deep down, but a ferocious pass rush, and look at this now, Smallwood gets run over. Wentz somehow just shakes that off, power lifts his way out like the Hulk and sprints down the field. It's just incredible. There are no words to describe what kind of athleticism or sheer magic this really is. Number 4 on this list comes from number 4 on the field, Jake Elliott, the undrafted rookie kicker acquired just 2 weeks before this moment, sends the Eagles to a 2-1 start, a 3-point win over the New York Giants with a 61-yard field goal as time expires. Now if that is not the most emotional moment of the season, I don't know what is. You could not write that. It was a hard fought game. We were thinking it was going to go to overtime, but Jake Elliott out of nowhere becomes a cultural icon in a heartbeat. Into the top 3, and at this point the list became really difficult, but this was a play that sealed the Eagles' Super Bowl victory. It's 2nd and 12 and it is the strip sack. Brandon Graham plays inside as a defensive tackle, the ball gets ripped loose and it is the first round pick Derek Barnett that scoops up the ball and hands the Eagles a probable Super Bowl 52 victory. The Patriots are in disbelief. The Eagles defense, something that has carried this team through the lowest of times this season, comes up in the biggest moment, in the clutchest second, and comes away with the most heart-stopping play imaginable. Chris Long against his former team comes storming around the outside, and the combination of him and Brandon Graham is overpowering for Tom Brady, and Barnett with the instincts to scoop the ball up and secure the bag for the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2 on this list, and it is back to the NFC divisional round. It's the Eagles versus the Falcons. It's 4th and goal, the game on the line. You've got Julio Jones lined up against Jalen Mills, Matt Ryan in the red zone. It's a deadly combination. Could the Eagles hold up? Julio falls over, but it's not through any fault of Jalen Mills, who still leaps up, and the ball is incomplete. The Eagles are going to the NFC Championship, and the underdogs strive. In the first game they were overlooked, the first game no one said they could do it. This was the moment a dream was realised for fans everywhere, that it was almost made a reality that they could go all the way. And Jalen Mills, a 7th round rookie 1 year ago, who's come so far, is able to stand tall over Julio and make sure that ball gets nowhere near his target. The Eagles are going to the NFC Championship game, and what a play it was from their defense. It was all on the line, all or nothing, and the underdogs do it again. Number 1 on this list, the best ranked play of the 2017 season was... would it be anything else? Would it really be anything else other than a play which resembles something out of Friday Night Lights? The Philly special. Doug Peterson goes all in on confidence on Nick Foles. Trey Burton on the Wildcat plays it to Nick Foles. Nobody saw it coming. 4th and goal against the Patriots on the grandest stage of all. A moment that would change the outcome of this game. Momentum shifts back into favour of the Philadelphia Eagles, and a dagger gets plunged so deep into the heart of the Patriots they would never quite rip it out. It was a stunning play call, and one that arguably won the Philadelphia Eagles the Super Bowl. One of the best play calls in history. The Philly special will go down in history. And there we have it, my top 10 plays from the Philadelphia Eagles season. Did you agree with this list? Were there any plays that I missed? I'm not purposely rhyming, but here we go. Let me know in the comments, was there a play you thought should have definitely been in the top 10 plays of the season? Thank you so much for watching, guys. It really does mean a lot to me. Hit that like button if you appreciate the video. Subscribe for the hustle. We'll be back with some more Philadelphia Eagles content for you very soon here at Philly Sports Network.